or 440, depending on sort of market forces, shall we call it. And so it adds a little bit of dynamicism to, I really want to buy that field, and it's currently 70% overpriced, but I really, 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 really want to buy that field, so I'm going to buy it for more than it's usually worth. Otherwise, if you're looking at something and say, well, I can buy that field, or I can buy that field, oh, that field's 50% off, I'll buy the cheap one now, and I'll worry about the other one later when I've got a little bit more money. Or I could buy the field now, but it's, 20% more expensive than normal, so I'd be spending 20% more for it today, but I don't really need it right away. I just want it before planting season, and it's the middle of winter. So maybe if I wait till March, we'll see what the price fluctuates. I'm taking a risk. I mean, the price could go up further, but it could come down, and it could come down below 100%, so make it cheaper to buy. So it adds a little bit of randomness to your farm expansion plans. Now, I did add it to this game save, and it completely screwed up the game save. So, okay, uninstall it. I couldn't figure out which other mods it might be interfering with. It could actually have been the map itself. But when I said this doesn't work with Glenleathann, I did get some people mention, oh, it also didn't work with Court Farms either. Well, there was a patch about 2-3 weeks ago, and I did reload it, and it still wasn't working with Glenleathann. So I immediately uninstalled it. It's not happening while there's a problem. They patched it again this week. I only noticed it on Thursday night, and I've been busy doing yard work on Thursday and stuff on Friday, so I didn't get a chance to load it. But I do have a Glenleathann backup, which is a little bit old. It's about 2 weeks old at the moment, maybe 3. Probably 3 weeks old now. But I can refresh that, add the dynamic field prices to it, and see if it's going to play nice. And if it does, then maybe that's a thing. I can also start messing around, probably doing some messing around to see exactly what's interfering with the tedder bugging the game out, if I do anything but base game tedding. And what's the other thing that I'm having problem? Oh, Easy Developer Toolkit. Just load in the game, see how it works, exit, unselect and reselect different mods. Just figure out what's screwing it up. Obviously, the first step is load up Glenleathann with Easy Developer Toolkit, see if it's broken. If it's broken, then the Easy Developer Toolkit's not playing with the map, so there's no point trying anything else. But if it does work with the map, then I have to add progressively all of the other mods that I like, and see which one screws things up. And it may be one, it may be a combination of ones, which would be a tad annoying, I think. Go on, get that bit on the edge. There we go. And yeah, we'll see what happens then. Oh, now there's also an option. The other option, it involves the Easy Developer Toolkit. I was going to say I could pick up the fresh grass, destroy it, and then load up. Put the equivalent mass of conditioned grass in the loading wagon. But again, involves Easy Developer Toolkit. Easy Developer Toolkit is not playing with this save. So annoying. Also, if another reason that I really must avoid doing bales at the moment is because I'm having a lot of issues with bales, especially wrapped bales, and I do not want, or if I can't use Easy Developer Toolkit to destroy all the bales on the map, which is sometimes the only recourse you have when they bug out seriously, I don't want to go there, not while it's not working properly. And as I said, it could just be conflicts between a couple of mods I have on. I've tried looking at the log, but I can't figure out what's not working and what is working. And frankly, that's my job. So I don't want to come home from work and have to spend my playtime doing my work. Maybe once I've retired in another 10-ish years' time, I might think about debugging problems between mods in FarmSim. But for right now, not happening. It could even be the tedder that I have. Maybe the Kubota tedder is just misbehaving with some other mod that I have running. But we'll see. As I said, I'll try and fit in some time to do that. Probably won't be before Monday, because Monday is going to be another stream, but it might be before next week Saturday, so we'll figure out something, I hope. That's my own stupid fault. I should have saved before I picked up the windrower or the tedder and started trying to do things with it. That's probably a bad turn on my part. Maybe not. Nice. Thought I'd blown that turn, but obviously not. So, how are we doing? We're down to 45 minutes left on the subsoiling. I might actually get a normal subsoiler at some point, because obviously we're going to end up eventually doing, well, maybe not. I mean, when I'm doing crop rotation, I would like to do some root crops eventually, but root crop harvesters are like 400,000. So that's going to be a little bit of a detriment for us in getting into them. But they do need ploughed as well, so I might look into getting a proper subsoiler. I think a lot of the crops that need ploughing are spring plants. So if this test with planting grass in that field works, and we get to silage that and then replant it immediately with corn, and then that might be an option for when we're doing fields with sugar beets or potatoes or sunflowers or soybeans or anything like that. Probably not doing soybeans. I don't think soybeans is a particularly popular Scottish crop. Barley you can plant in winter. So there's the potential of I plant the barley, and the barley gets harvested when it gets harvested. I think we already figured that. Okay, and reverse seating. We already figured from the crop calendar that you can plant barley here, but the earliest you can harvest it here, the earliest you can forage it is here, and you plant corn here. So it's not a dual crop. I can plant corn, I can forage it here, and I can plant barley immediately. But the barley harvest is later than the corn planting. And so that's where we had the advantage in Oakfield, was the corn planting season was May and June. So I could plant the maize in June and forage it in October, and plant barley and then forage that in June. And so long as I was really quick about foraging the barley and getting it all planted, getting the field cleared, that was quite a successful double crop in a year. But barley not going to work here, and you're making whole crop silage, not harvesting the barley for cereal. But it is what it is. So we will get this done, and I'll just move straight on to the windrowing instead. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of that windrower. It's a little bit on the big side. Or it's a little bit awkward. And part of the reason is because of the field boundaries. So, back to cleaning the mower again. Yay. And I think the merge is quite big. There is one that fits to the back of the tractor and has a fairly reasonable working width. Let's put that in there. So the thing I'm thinking of is blah 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 mowers, things, windrowers. Is this one. 91,000, it fits directly to the back. It's 160 horsepower. It's too big for the little orange tractor. This is a lower horsepower, but it sits further out. The merge point is here, and its wheels are way back here. Kind of like that one. The Kern is. It's a long way behind the tractor, and what part of my problem is the field boundaries. This would work a lot better. This is, it would fit on the small one, but quite frankly, it's just 3 meters. But I could run it on the orange tractor. This will only run on the Valtra, but you can easily get to the edge of the field with it, and that's what I'm thinking. But 91,000, our windrower is that one, 77,000 new, but that's 14 meters compared to 7, so that's half the width. But it's going to be easier to use. I'm probably going to be able to work with it a lot faster. Oops, didn't want that. I want that. Maybe I just bite the bullet and do that. I think for this time, no, we'll stick with the windmills. But maybe spring, maybe for the next cut, I'll look at replacing this. Alright. Squeak and attach. Alrighty. Let's go windmill our ground. Come on. Oh. Oh, that is so annoying. It takes so long to unfold it, you sometimes think, oh, this isn't unfolding, and my buttons aren't entirely reliable. So I think, oh, button didn't work. It's getting into the edges here. And then hitting the hedge and everything else. It's just kind of just all round awkward. So being able to get a merge that is close behind the tractor. It's like my preference for sprayers that are mounted on the tractor to sprayers that are dragged behind it. It's just a little bit easier to control where that boom is. It's just a little bit easier to control the merge point. And you know, the end of this is so far back that when I reach the end of a row, I'm kind of picking up what has already been rowed up and destroying the rows I already have. Oh, shoot, and I'm also going off into the woods, literally. Oh, that was fun. Okay. But also with those merges, because they tend... I haven't used that forage, grass and forage merge, DLC merge. I don't know, but they tend to merge to the left, merge to the right, merge to the middle as options. And that's kind of handy, because if you merge to a side, I can A, merge away from the hedgerow, which means when I'm collecting I'm not going into the hedges, and B, it means that I can double layer the rows, because see right here, that's about as far as I want to go, and I still haven't merged or rowed that piece on the outside. What I can do is turn this way. That's probably about the best position. Maybe catch that. No, I'm not going to catch that bit there. Or at least not most of it. And then I'm unrowing bits I've already rowed. So that's my gripe with these. The short two-wheeled one, the two-vaned one is fine, but then it's small. So it's like, I've already done that bit. Or, I have to do more to get it all done. And of course, one of the reasons I think I started it on oak field, although I don't particularly like trailed sprayers. I started using one because I'd take 3 spraying contracts and I'd have to keep going off to refill the ones that are attached to the back of the tractor, even with the auxiliary tank on the front. So at that point I just said, you know what, I think it's just going to be easier for me to, I'm just going to roll through these, it's going to be easier for me to get a tow behind, because I can carry a significant amount of liquid fertilizer in the tank that I'm hauling behind myself, and thus get a lot more contracts done without having to skip between field and resupply. Of course, the other way around that is to have a resupply tank that you, so a second tractor in the group that's just hauling a liquid fertilizer tank or a flatbed with IBCs on it, and you can do the whole field resupply. I've done that in the past. Again, I think it was on one of Oxygen David's maps. I ended up, I had a fuel tanker, I had a either a auger wagon with seed in, or that was right, or an auger wagon with fertilizer, solid fertilizer, or a tanker with liquid. We'd go out with the diesel tank. I had about 4 pieces of equipment, and I could run around a field, do some things, and then when I came back, halfway round the fields I was doing, and this was before I got into the idea that maybe owning the fields closest to the farm is your best method most of the time. Is it doing? Yes, it is doing. So yeah, I mean, I was sort of not doing that. I was doing, I'd have sort of a field here and another one here and another one here and another one here, and then the farm's all the way up here. And so I don't want to be, I've run out in this field and I've got to drive all the way back to the farm and then all the way back to the field to finish off the field. It was getting to the point where I need in-field resupply for everything I'm doing. And it kind of worked out okay, but it was interesting at the time. And so much so that I didn't have enough diesel in a tractor to do the entire course either, so I had to bring a fuel truck with me to refill all the tractors as they were working. And for things like, say I'm doing planting, I would do potentially plough the field, cultivate the field, plant the field, fertilise the field for the first stage of fertiliser, because I wasn't using seasons or anything else like that, or precision farming wasn't a thing. It just made more sense to bring all of the stuff with you. So I'd have 3 working tractors plus the resupply vehicles as well. So I'd have one with seed, one with solid fertilizer. Obviously the plough and the cultivator didn't need refilling. Busy stuff. And basically I'm not going to bother with the headlands. this type of windrower frustrates me. It lets me do things quickly, so it's not like, oh, I have to do all the things. Yeah, it takes so long to do the job. It's just that if I want it not to mess up, I have to be a little bit more precise in my driving and turning around and lowering and raising the windmills. That it just gets to a point where, frankly, I'd like something simpler to use. I'm probably going to miss that bit. Oh no, we didn't miss that bit. Wow. That's the other thing I noticed. Some of these things, they don't have... You look at the animations. That's going to miss. And they don't... You know, sometimes they don't catch what you think they're going to catch, and at other times they do catch what you think they're going to catch. Okay. You know what? I believe this is a good time. Drop it down to about 45 foot because I just don't trust it. And we're going to set a 0 degrees back. And off we go. So I'm going to get a little bit more efficient pickup. You can see the blue line for this is right over there. The blue line on that side is also right over there. So if I'd gone with the default width, I think we would have been out of sorts on one side or the other. Anyway, we're going to get this done. Now, how's the dude doing? He's got about 27 minutes, 28 minutes of subsoiling to do. Now, of course, the issue I have here, we've only